So the Constitution Amendment Bill and this debate has triggered one more reaction. Some entities are back at acting holier than thou. The United States Commission on International Religious Freedom has once again unleashed a torrent of invective against India. Now, debating something is one thing. We are debating the C.A.B. But branding an entire country, branding India as a country of fanatics is quite another. And this group in America has been doing that for the longest time. Each time they push the White House to threaten sanctions against India. And this time the Commission has said that it's deeply troubled by the passage of the Citizenship Amendment Bill. It has sought sanctions against Indian Home Minister Amit Shah and other leaders if the bill is passed in India's upper house too. And I don't know if this was deliberate, but this Commission has said that in conjunction with the NRC in Assam and the nationwide NRC, the Commission fears that the Indian government, and I'm quoting here, the Indian government is creating a religious test for Indian citizenship that would strip citizenship from millions of Muslims. This is misrepresentation of facts. It may very well qualify as fear-mongering. The USCIRF has slyly forgotten to even mention that the NRC is directed against illegal immigrants and not the Muslims already living in India. There is a distinction, and a very clear one. And this is ironic for a body which identifies itself as a bipartisan entity which monitors religious freedom abroad. It has failed to acknowledge the fact that India's move also aims to help the persecuted minorities in India's neighborhood. No mention has been made of that. To me, the Commission's conceptual language seems biased. What evidence did they draw upon to come to these conclusions? Was it impressions of particular individuals? Was it just hearsay and anecdotes? These are part of a bigger question. How reliable, then, are international religious freedom reports of the US government? The fact is that Washington is adept at using fancy phrases to come up with excuses to show the rest of the world in poor light. This group, this body, may be the torchbearer of the trend. By the way, this is the same body that had recommended that the US government not approve a tourist visa for then Chief Minister of Gujarat, now Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, post the Gujarat riots. The same body also placed India on the Tier 2 category in 2015 over religious freedom violations. India was put alongside nations like Afghanistan, Iraq and Turkey. Now my question is this: would they put America on such a watch list? Look at their criteria to list countries: torture, degrading treatment, prolonged detention without charges, and causing disappearance by abduction. If this is their basis, that the United States is violating its own standards on every count, because this sounds a lot like America's so-called war on terror, the questions do not end there. Where was this commission when Donald Trump openly declared migrants as criminals? Why was the commission silent when Trump imposed a travel ban prohibiting visas to citizens of 7 largely Muslim countries? And where was this commission when Trump's zero-tolerance policy separated children from their families? This statement is a classic case of unwanted American meddling and selective outrage. There's nothing more to it.